Greetings and welcome. I'm Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you are doing well today. I am guided by Spirit, and I'm recording this episode July 21, 10:30 a.m. Trigger warning: the subject matter is of a mature nature and deals with true crime events. Disclaimer: all cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. Alright, so I'm continuing with the Karen Reed case. And we've got her trial date hearing happening tomorrow, local time here. For Americans, you probably waking up on the 21st. Good morning, sunshines. The day has begun. So, this picture says 1,000 words, right? Interestingly, if we go to the day of the mistrial, there was a 7 outcome here, which on one hand speaks about justice. Now, I don't know the full information in terms of the jurors coming forward disclosing that the main charge, they all had agreed not guilty. However, another criminal defense lawyer or prosecutor said they also did not say that in their findings that they found her not guilty. So there's a bit of jeopardy there, I suppose. However, I also want to draw your attention before we look at the forecast for tomorrow, July 22nd. You'll recall in the previous reading, if you watched the previous reading, I was concerned about this 37-10-1. And this is when officialdoms interfere. I'm just putting it out there for now. Because now if we look at tomorrow, July the 22nd, July the 22nd actually has some serious numbers here, big numbers, big numbers. So we've got the 22-4, which is a power number, and speaks about evidence, speaks about official legal documents as well, in a law context now, in a crime law context. So what's on display is the evidence. And what's concerning for me on this day is we now have a visible 37-10-1. So just a quick recap. For the day leading up to the mistrial, there was a 36-9 the previous day. So when we go into this day, although June doesn't continue, we still have that hidden 37-10-1 energy flow. Now, when we come back full circle, and I think this is a circus, and I'm going to show you that it's a circus. We now come full circle back to open 37-10-1. And now the reason why it's open is because the judgment upon the judgment is now under scrutiny as well. In other words, the judge is under scrutiny as well. And the judgment made thereof. Okay? Big numbers here. 37-10-1 is the judicial number in this case. The judicial system is now also on trial in a way. Now this is I'm still getting the feeling of, I mentioned before, these guys are gunning for her. And who's gunning for her? Obviously, the organizations that make up the prosecution and the district attorney, that side of the law, collectively we will call them 10-1. That's an organization. And what I found interesting while preparing these slides was I've never looked at the dates where she was arrested, when the indictment came down, and when the start of the trial, and of course we have the conclusion of the trial here. And it's interesting to note there's several numbers, similar numbers in all the cases. So while we're talking about 10-1, the arrest day outcome is a 10-1. Now let me tell you from a numerology point of view, okay, let me explain myself. So let's call them, for the lack of a better word, the prosecution team arrest Karen on this day, right? But the emphasis is not about the arrest, because arrest, let me write it here. In numerology here, arrest equals 12-3. That's the number for a regular arrest. Okay? But the day they go arrest her is a 10-1. So this wasn't about arresting Karen. Of course, that's part of the process, right? But the emphasis is on 10-1, which is the organization saving face, is the key word I keep getting from Spirit about halfway into meditating around this and preparing the slides. Saving face is the key word. I'm going to write it down. And a gracious viewer recommended I look at the trial for tomorrow. It wasn't included in the 200 because I'd rather treat this as a separate element because there is an ongoing series. So thank you for the suggestion. So this is saving face is the police side, right? They were saving face when this all started, right? Because I'm going to show you some developments. So what are they doing now? Now there's even bigger issues. Because when darkness tries to prevail and evil deeds try to prevail, they will not succeed, and they will draw other issues in with them. 10-1, on the indictment day, 10-1. So we've got a theme happening here, right? 10-1. So we'll just focus on the 10-1s because there are other numbers that are the same as well. And now when the trial begins, so another common number that's coming up is the 16-7. We'll get there. But the outcome when the trial starts, we have a 28-10-1, 19-10-1, 10-1 outcome. This is not about Karen Reed. And of course, she has gone through a hell of a trauma with this whole ordeal. Regardless of her personal pain she may have felt with the loss of her boyfriend. And we all have good and bad days. No one's a saint in this planet, I'm sure. Not even the priests, you know what I mean? All right. 10-1, we got 10-1 theme through all days here. And when we get to July the 22nd, we also have a 10-1. This is all about the state saving face. Okay. Now, there's been some evolutions in the build-up since her arrest, the trial, and where we are today, and since the crime, beg your pardon, thank you. Pinging. Okay. I actually started I actually started comparing the similarities around the crime scene with this new July 22 date. And we could take any date in the sequence of the, let's say, the timeline of events from that evening till tomorrow. We are tapping into those timelines. So on the crime scene, beg your pardon, Mr. John's been strict with me today. Remember, in the early days, he was standing off far away from me. So let's just see the crime scene. So we've got the 29/11/2. So if we just focus on tomorrow. Now, what's interesting here, and we have the 29/2 before the crime, which is actually very important. Thank you. Very important. Because before leading into the crime itself, there's an issue already, 29/11/2. So before the crime happens, there's the crime happens because of this issue. So hidden, reminding us, the universe is reminding us, don't forget what the real issue is here. And this is why these motherfuckers are trying to save face about. There's the original crime, 29/11/2. And ladies and gentlemen, you will recall from previous episodes, the 33/12/3 is the unfortunate demise of, and I had her details here, I beg your pardon, Sandra Birchmore. Sorry for the jamming there. This is the original case is about Sandra Birchmore, and I'm so happy they're going to court, or there's some lawsuit happening, or there's a trial happening between the three perpetrators. The original sin, Sandra and others. Okay, beg your pardon. Sandra Birchmore. Here's the Sandra Birchmore, 12/3, young lady. But hidden was the pedo camps that this police force had fostered over the years. And what do we have in the reflection zone here? The original sin. The original sin is still reflected. And these prosecutors and police are saving face. So interesting to note, when the trial began on April the 16th, okay, we have an 11/2. So 11/2 is about the law. It is about the law. So here we've got the number again, round 2. Okay. Now the differences, you'll recall on the April 16, we started with the 28/10/1. And that is also reflected here, I believe. Here it is here, 28/10/1 in the crime scene. Okay. It's all reflected there. However, now, although that's still part of it, the 28/10 will sit with the 29/11/2 issue, because that's fallen away now. There's a new issue in town. This is what I was saying about the evolution of this case. The judicial system is under scrutiny now. And for obviously the trooper proctor, that was taken off the day after the trial came to a head. So this is the evil deeds are now also being exposed, and are at threat, actually, of being exposed now. I said in the previous Verdict Watch show, that there's going to be lesser charges for her. Now, I don't know what the... and I'm not discounting the fact that a gentleman has been murdered here. But in my opinion, not by Karen, let's go ask all these guys here. They know what happened. So we had this hidden 20 with an outcome 2, speaks about pregnancy. Hidden pregnancy. 20 is the number for pregnancy. Now, from the hidden pregnancy and the murder of both, and it's here, 29/11/2. That's the real issue here. So, what is the outcome? We note that the indictment day, June 10, 2022, has a 22/4/13/4 outcome, and that same outcome is reflected here in the summary day. The reason why I'm a little bit hesitant is because of this number here. And these are the dangerous ones we must watch out for. The ones that are meant to protect us are the ones that can criminalize us and put us in jail. There was mingling in the back here, July 1, 3710-1. There was interference in a process here, in my opinion. The outcome is what the outcome was, but there was interference. I'm trying to, yeah. Now it's exposed, but the problem for me is we still have the same outcome here, 10-1, 10-1, and these guys have the means and will to do this. Or is there a new judge in this case? For me, the judge was an issue. If I had to take, well, I'm going to stick with my previous prediction, and that is there will be lesser charges for her. I don't believe she's going to be the big manslaughter one, or driving away. She didn't cause it. It could be an alcohol issue or whatever. It's not a murder trial or second degree manslaughter at all. So let's just see if I pick up any positive. My concern. Now we can also say, and this is relevant. The 19-10-1-10-1 also pings directly on Karen as well. So of course she's going to feel the heat because it's going to be coming her way. I'm still, if we, for example, so I'm looking for more confirmations, right? So the trial starts with an outcome 28-10-1-9, and if it's going to start like that as well, except for now we have this 37. This thing's going to fall apart. They're doing this for the wrong reason. And of course, this sounds like, well, of course, But unfortunately, the other 50% believe she's guilty, right? Or maybe that number's changed now. But the other half are saying that she's guilty. But the days where everything is done against her because of this is not for the right reasons. This is going to fall apart. Or we should say it's already starting to fall apart with the first victory. And we're not discounting John's demise. The people that did it know who they are, and he knows who they are. But we can't create a lynch mob to blame it on someone. And it's still the same themes. Here's this ugly number here, 4004. All the ego in the world with the police force and the males and all the bullshit. How embarrassing. Take on a lady and they fall short. That's so embarrassing. Anyway, I had done a show for today, but I had a previous engagement which got cancelled, so popped up 3 hours. Let's have a look at this case. Got to be somewhere else later. But, wow. So definitely a theme that has come through on this meditation is now these idiots are trying to save face. How embarrassing. Anyway, they're going to fall short here. So, unfortunately, with the might of the government and the prosecution team, they but also, on the other hand, it's falling apart. And the reason why it's actually falling apart now is because of this number here, right here. And even on the real, or let's say on a human level, 11-2 tomorrow is a bit of shaky territory. There's a bit of 50-50. It can go either way. And here's another interesting number here. July 25, the summary day. Yes, the issue is reflected here again. The real issue. 2 people have got a beef. And where do they belong? The police force. All bullshit. Remember the gang group and the breaking of the group, the community. They've had to disband their pedo farm because it was feeding all the males. Here's the pregnancy number here reflected. We're dipping into a timeline here. Here's the pregnancy number revealed here. Before that, there's, what is this going on here? 3-8-11-2. Very unlawful. Unlawful because we've got an 11-2. 3-8, there's a collective knowledge about an unlawful act. And now we know she's pregnant. She was pregnant, Sandra. Right? And what was this all about? The children, they were supposed to be helping their already distressed lives. Come to us and we'll destroy you even more, says the policeman. 32-5. Wow. Wow. Pigs. And now, this is the beautiful thing about the universe, ladies and gentlemen. Now, because this lie is being perpetuated, continuing, allowed to continue, because it could have got thrown out completely here, which is what was meant to have happened. But it didn't, because there was a judge interfering. So now the plot thickens. The judicial system has been dragged into this mess, and they are already privy to it. So good luck. There's going to be disclosure around this situation. Even more. How rotten the head of this corruption pile is. And not just the little busy ants. But now it has entered the courts, and the courts system is wavering, in my opinion. Here's a dabble number. Now they're on trial as well, 11-2. So let's see how far the rot goes. Justice will prevail for Karen, and hopefully John's perpetrators, the real perpetrators, will be brought to book. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have for you for now. Love you all. Have a good time. See you soon in the week. Stay safe, stay alert, and hug your loved ones. Bye for now.